joining in. I think it's just 1 minute short at 4, and by the time people are joining in, I'll just take a pause for say a couple of more minutes. Thank you so much, Jitendra sir, for joining in. And I'd request Sandeep if you can also just switch on the video, and then probably we can take it up. Hey, hi Atul, hi Sandeep. Thanks for joining in.
Hello.
Pleasure to be here. Thanks.
Hello, everyone.
I think we can wait for say another 1 minute. How about most of the people will be here, then probably I'll start off and take things up.
And a quick hello to Atul and Jitendra. I see the videos as well.
Hello, Sandeep. Hello, Atul.
Hello, Sandeep ji. Good
Hi.
afternoon. Good afternoon, Jitendra sir.
Good afternoon.
Jitendra sir, you're looking much younger than before. I can say that.
Oops. So that's for the better, actually.
Thank you so much. So I think we are already having around 50 attendees out here. I think people will come up and join
Sandeep,
in.
I always like your background. I mean, you are always with some. I think you always sit in some matrix-like environment with some good gadgets.
No, this is the Microsoft Technology Center. So I'm here. So yeah.
Great.
So that's amazing, Sandeep. I also must admire that.
That actually is a matrix-like environment. In real life.
People call it a command center, but yeah.
Right. So I'll just, start off the things, the guests will keep on joining in. That's perfectly fine with us. So firstly, I would like to welcome each and everybody, who have particularly joined this session and spare their time out in their midweek session. I can certainly understand how hectic it is. So just to give you a quick round of introduction, I am Neeraj and I'm acting as a AVP business for StackU Technologies, assisting Atul and the team members out here in the business side. And I would like to take this opportunity to welcome our esteemed speakers out here. Thank you so much, Mr. Jitendra sir, for joining in. He is the CDO and president for JK Super Cement. And I'll also like to welcome Mr. Sandeep Alur. He is a director of Microsoft Technology Center. Whatever the innovation that you're looking from the Microsoft side, he's the guy behind it, right? So that is how that is how we are placed, and we are fortunate enough to have both of the panelists on site. I'd also like to welcome Mr. Atul Rai, who's the CEO of StackU Technologies, the brain behind all the artificial intelligence things and the gadgets that we are spreading across the industry. Thank you so much, Atul, for conducting this and helping all people at one single place. I'd also like to thank all the relevant team members of behind the scenes kind of a thing, right, for organizing this and taking this making this session happen. Without wasting a much, what I'll do is I'll just share my screen, set up the agenda for you, set up the objective for you, and then probably I'll hand it over to our panelists and speakers to take the things forward and set the stage on fire, right? So just a moment, I'm just sharing my screen. So just to check, is my screen visible to everyone? Maybe Manju, Atul, anyone you can just acknowledge quickly.
I think it's coming. Yeah, it's there.
Perfect, perfect. So I'm just taking this opportunity to take the things forward. Just to set up the agenda here. So we have this agenda for the next 1.5 hours. It will be a you can say a fire of a session. I can say that where people like the industry leaders like Mr. Jitendra and Mr. Sandeep will share their insights. I'll just take 2 minutes to introduce about the webinar. Probably after that I'll give you the speakers overview for the next couple of minutes, and we'll start off with Mr. Atul Rai, who will take up another 10 to 15 minutes to just give you a holistic overview that how the power of video analytics and artificial intelligence is making its mark into the manufacturing space and different industry verticals as well. And then after that, I'll hand it over to Mr. Sandeep Alur, who will who will take a moment to share his insights on how, Microsoft and StackU partnership is making an impact across the industry by providing the fast, secure, and scalable AI solution to, various industry leaders across India and abroad, right? And at the same time, I'd also like, I'm personally overwhelmed because at the moment I'm sitting in the JK Cement site only, right? And I'm proud to announce that, we'll have a session with Mr. Jitendra sir. He'll also share his insights in terms of the success stories, how he himself have been able to take care of the digital transformation side at JK Cement, and at the same time how video analytics and artificial intelligence is playing a vital role in the growth of that, right? After all this, buzz, I have one single bonus for everybody, who is present out here, and that we are going to reveal in between the session. And post that, we can also have a Q&A session with each and everyone. You can just bombard your question in the chat window itself. I'll just request one thing. So whosoever is having any questions in their mind, please put a capital Q colon and then put your question in the chat window. That will actually help us, our team members, to pick up a few good questions and present it in front of our jury members. And then after that, we can take it up. So basically, you all are here. So the number one thing that you must be wondering is on this basically midweek, what I am doing here and what I can expect from this particular session, right? So just to answer your questions, we will be discussing about a lot of things in terms of how CIOs like Mr. Jitendra sir is revolutionizing the manufacturing industry, which is, is known for the traditional tech and, and hardware based systems altogether, how digital transformation is making an impact, how AI is being utilized for smart manufacturing and things. And none of the less, you will be wondering to know that you can actually convert your dumb CCTV devices into an intelligent system which will work for you in 24/7 in an unbiased and much more advanced way, right? Not only that, we'll also talk about fast, secure, and scalable AI solutions with the help of Microsoft team out here. Then we'll talk about how these technologies are helping you minimize the risk and loss across the industries. A lot of impacts, will be discussed across. And we'll also, hear from the industry leaders themselves about their experience, how they are leveraging the technologies and everything. And at the same time, how you can optimize your entire, manufacturing sites or any facility wherever you are heading, right? I'm sure that all the audience that we have here is more of, the C-level executives, IT heads, departmental heads, and all, who are responsible to drive the digital transformation and similar sort of things to optimize various business functions altogether, right? So without wasting a much, I'll just invite Mr. Atul Rai to take the discussions forward and share his insights in terms of the company overview on each and everything out here. So over to you, Atul. Please, the forum is yours. Continue it. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Neeraj, for setting up like very powerful screen here. So of course, and thanks to our guest Sandeep and Jitendra ji for joining this call. So what I'll do, I'll share my screen and bring a presentation for this demonstration part where we are like just introduce about StackU, what exactly we are doing with the AI and of course the computer vision technologies, right? So I just shared my screen. I just believe everyone can see it. So just starting with the introduction of the company, of course, when we started in 2015, we started an AI company targeting India's homeland security market. And of course, when you talk about any kind of a security, camera comes as a first thing, right? So that is where we started StackU, and the whole idea, I don't know whether the screen is visible or, yeah.
It's visible.
Okay, perfect. So we started in 2015 targeting India's homeland security market, and soon after that we further expanded ourselves for different other basically use cases which are in safety domain, which are in the EHS domain, which are in COVID-19 domain, of course, and all these are relevant in the operations part of the manufacturing. So that is where we expanded the whole the CCTV based monitoring, and of course when we put camera, we always want to monitor different kind of a thing, whether it's operations, security, safety. and that need to be automated, and that is something which we are doing with the camera, right? Before going to the further, like I just want to introduce about the companies working with us. So as I said, we started with the government sector. So we are working almost 9 state police forces using our technology in smart city, safe city kind of basically areas. In private sector or in the basically enterprises who are working with us are, of course, JK Cement is one of our premium client or the prestigious client who are working with us. We have Piramal, we have Marico, we have TFS, so different embassies. So many companies or many infrastructures are working with us for automatizing all their monitoring needs, which they have in their respective organization using CCTV camera. Apart from that, we have partners like Microsoft Azure. We have in smart city, safe city kind of ecosystem. We have partners like L&T, Mahindra Defense, and then in other domain, we also have like Tata Projects and all working with us for many of their partners which they have, right? Directly coming to the problem statement. So we all have CCTV camera, and we use CCTV camera more like a dumb device. We just keep it as an ornamental value, like something like which has to be there. That's all. And we put human resource to basically monitor it. Now, of course, if you talk about current scenario, we have more number of cameras than the human on the earth. So that is something which can't be monitored by the human in the near future. You have to have a technology which can automate all these monitoring. And the second most important part is camera is most powerful sensor, right? And we in general don't use it. For every kind of anything which we want to automate, we put a new sensor. And camera is a human interpretable sensor because you can see the data, what is happening, and you can basically identify or understand it. It is not the same with other sensors. And that is where camera can play a more stronger role in case of any kind of automation part. And again, you're also saving a lot of money because you need not to purchase a new capital. You're not putting a new capital cost. And secondly, you're not putting a more human resource in that area to monitor it. So that is where AI can play a role. So this is something which I am going to present in this whole presentation, how we are basically helping with different manufacturing. I have been focusing mostly in the manufacturing for this particular session because we are making it more like a manufacturing centered presentation and demonstration. So starting first with the operation part, whenever we talk about any manufacturing, the first thing, the operation first thing is always there. Like if you have 50 employees to work in a particular area, how many of them are working? And it's like, for example, there are a lot of sites there, right? And as a CIO, as a, let's say CSO or EHS or many other head of your organization, you can't be there at each and every site. And that is where, of course, currently camera is not being used. You're not using camera for that particular purpose, but here camera can be used to identify a person or to identify the number of people present in that area. That is one of the very important component in any of the operation, because the whole operations basically you can say is dependent upon the number of workforce you have, right? That is one thing. The second important part is the safety related protocols which are there, which is being there, and which is whether which is being followed or not, right? So you have safety jacket or safety helmets, boots, goggles, and all, right? So this is the second thing. Again, you need not to put a human resource to monitor it. Again, the camera is monitoring, and if this is not being followed, you'll get an alert on that. The third very important component, and which is very important, is basically we have many conveyor belt in most of the manufacturing units have. For example, JK Cement have the cement conveyor belt with the cement are coming, or with many working Piramal, they have the bottle coming in and all. So in that case, you also want to count those pallets or those objects which are being created. Again, for that, a sensor-based technology was previously being used. Now we have made it camera-based monitoring. That means you need not to purchase a new sensor. Whatever camera you have to just reposition it to the conveyor belt. And that is something, it is again adding a more value for our end customers. And then again, in the safety, the same safety and operation part, you also have a fire detection thing, because many organizations or the manufacturing unit have that fire prone areas, right? And in that case, again, sensors are usually used, but that is having a limitation of basically a reason, right? That can also be automated. For example, in this case, I'm just putting some of the use cases which are there. For example, this is one of the bottle counting thing we are doing just with the existing cameras. You need not to put a sensor here, right? In the right side, you are just counting a pallet box, like the overall the packaging which has been done. And then, of course, maybe it is being loaded on some vehicle or something. So in that way, also knowing that how many basically these products are being created on one conveyor belt or something like that, right? This is something which is adding value to the end customer. Now, coming to the second part, This safety is, of course, one of the important thing after the operations, right? Of course, safety jacket I already discussed, because this is also coming in the operation part, but at the same time, it is also coming in the EHS thing in certain organization, right? In that way, if someone is collapsed, someone, let's say, is unconscious somewhere, in that case, you also want to get alert. Not only that, when you want to get help from the camera, you have to just wave your hand in front of the camera. So that kind of SOS detection we also have activated for many organizations, right? Not only that, there are different employees are responsible to work in different area, and you want to know, let's say 5 people are working and these many products are being created. And then you also want to calculate the productivity in that way. So you can also correlate with this particular technology. So we also have a correlation based prediction for different conveyor belt, right? So let's say there are 10 people are working and then 20 objects are being, or let's say pallets are being loaded or unloaded. In that way, you can also correlate with that. This is currently not happening because they are doing it either manually or maybe through some sensors, right? Apart from that, you also have different other sensitive things. For example, let's say suddenly a protest is happening somewhere in your plant, which is in, let's say, in Gujarat, somewhere in, let's say, or maybe somewhere in Jaipur or somewhere, right? So you sitting in Bangalore or Gurgaon or maybe Noida, you're not knowing that what is exactly happening in the ground zero, right? This is something which is important, where you are knowing a suspicious crowd assembly and all. Secondly, intrusion detection. There are many manufacturing where the intrusion is very important component, or the theft detection is very important. We are also monitoring using the camera. The camera is now basically identifying these different kind of SOPs or different kind of events, and then sending the alert. There are different areas in even the liver area and all those places where, again, the violence prone, and that also you want to get alert on the right time. Another very important component we recently have developed is basically a virtual boundary. So in that means if you're sending any object, maybe even drone, that can also be identified by this virtual boundary. So in that case, any intersection with this boundary can be identified. Again, this is a virtual boundary. That means it has been created by the camera. Logistic, another important component in any manufacturing, how many vehicles are coming, how many vehicles are going outside, how many pallets are being loaded, how many of them are unloaded. So all these things can also be monitored by the camera, and that's being done by many of our organizations. So whether it's a number plate recognition, you need not to purchase a 25 lakh rupees ANPR camera. A normal 5 megapixel camera can work with that. And that kind of a technology we have developed for our respective partners and the users, right? Now, the last one, the COVID-19, of course, COVID is still like coming in different forms in different time, right? So in that case, you also want to have certain technologies which can automate the COVID protocol. Of course, whether it's a mask, whether it's a hygiene, of course, this is now becoming a protocol for many of the areas. And of course, if you are in FMCG industry and all, in that case, it is actually very important for you. And again, cleaning, mopping, you can't put manager to watch each and everything, right? In that case, again, camera is becoming a third eye. It is basically identifying all those protocol and alerting you, and if it is not being followed, right? So let's say you have created it to 10 a.m., there has to be cleaning in area, and it's not happening, you're getting an alert on that. So now the question happens, how it happens, right? So in our case, you have to just have a CCTV camera, and camera can be analog or digital, or IP camera. If you have an analog camera, that might be having a DVR, that means digital video recorder, and that have the IP LAN. With that IP port, we are bringing feed to cloud, and that cloud will be owned by you. That means you will always be the data owner of and the whole owner of the product. And there we are deploying Jarvis. So we are creating an IPsec tunnel. That means end-to-end whitelisted streaming being done. And there we are basically deploying different kind of AI, which you want to monitor. Again, as an AI company, when we say we are AI company, we have done more than 25 plus research papers. That means we are the original developer and of this technology. So we can also customize certain requirement which you might be having, right? And there are 3 different components of this software. One is a video software where you can see a live streaming, which is in general where you put a lot of money for VMS. In our case, VMS is complementary, video management software, right? So you can connect 20 different locations at one place and can see it, even sitting in your home, right? You don't need to have a fancy command center. Even you can do it with your laptop, right? Or like creating same N cross N matrix and see all your cameras from different locations based on whatever the access has been given to you. And you can also see the parallelly the alerts on that. So that is the analytics part. So you are getting both VMS and VA deployed in cloud, which is saving your capital cost. And at the same time, you're also having a mobile app. So while you're traveling, you are some other place, you can also see your different feeds and different important alert on your mobile phone, right? Not only that, one of the very important component is, so far we are talking about basically a real-time alert and real-time streaming. But let's say you are a boss and you are not there every time to see the alert. In that case, you have an audit reporting part. You can go select any camera, select any location, and can download report that how many times a particular event violation happened in that area, right? You also have a predictive technology, which is basically giving you like a report in terms of, let's say today 20 people are working, these many productions happening. So what will be my production estimate in next 7 days or 10 days? So that can also be done with this technology using the same camera, which is now converting each and every powerful data, visual data in terms of the decision-making thing, right? You also have a ticket management system. So one part so far I was talking about the analysis and detection thing. Now you also have a response part. So let's say there is different violations are happening. You are sitting in again Bangalore or Gurgaon as a CIO. So you can also basically respond on that. You can allocate those tickets to someone who's working locally there. You'll allocate certain event violation to a user. He will get an alert and he will basically have to act on that. The last one, of course, when you talk about such technology, it has always been asked, what is accuracy of that? So when we say accuracy, as I always said, we already publish our paper. When most of our teammates are from MS and PhD background. We are actually a research company. So we have, so far, whatever the accuracy we have calculated on the ground zero is beyond 95%, right? And we are the only company which is also NIST certified, which is American standard for identifying many algorithmic tests, right? Apart from that, we are camera agnostic. So whether you have Hikvision, CP+, any kind of a camera make, you can connect with that. Even IP cameras can be, with 2 megapixel camera can be used to identify many kind of event. In general, now my 5 megapixel or 4 megapixel cameras are being used, but we have been working on 1.5 megapixel camera, right? We are a plug and play solution. So you want to deploy this solution next week, today, tomorrow, it can be done immediately, given that you have internet connection at the DVR location, that's all. No extra hardware, nothing is needed. And that is something make this whole technology more powerful for deployment. And it's a one-stop solution. For example, you have different basically department. You have HR who's like more keen to know the productivity. You have operational head who is more want to know operation part. You have a safety head, security head. So you need not to purchase multiple software here. A single platform is giving you different kind of let's say covering different kind of use cases. We are covering 85 plus analytics. We are the only company doing that in India, right? And this makes this thing more powerful, right? And of course, when you talk about such thing, I mean, it is important that who is apart from the private sector and also we are working with some of the top brands like Indian Army. Of course, it's a more critical and the credible source. If you're working with them and you're working for some greater security, in that case, it is something we are doing with them. Apart from that, we are handling 10,000 plus cameras parallelly in India for analytics, not streaming. For analytics, we are processing 2 million alerts in a month, and that kind of a credibility we have. We have won many prestigious awards. Government of India given us this year's National Startup Award. This is a national award given in the startup area. We also won Tile Humus Award. We also won NASSCOM AI Game Changer Award. NASSCOM also awarded us Emerge 50 Award. And we are also winner of consecutively like IBM GEP 15 and IBM GEP 16. Times of India considered at top 17 startups from 2017, right? So this is just a brief. This is something I wanted to present from StackU side, and I just wanted to take a limited time for my presentation because I wanted to hear from our partners and our clients. So that is why I'll just stop it here, and I'll hand over to Neeraj so that he can further give it to our esteemed guest. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Atul, for the wonderful insights and sharing with the senior leadership out here. Now, I'll hand it over to Mr. Sandeep Alur, who is the director of Microsoft Technology Center, to share his insights on the StackU partnerships and how, with the help of Vision AI and a lot of innovations from the Microsoft side, how we are helping enterprise with this amazing things out in the market. Over to you, Sandeep, sir.
Perfect. Thanks so much, Neeraj. Just confirm that you can hear me and as well you can see my screen.
Yes, Sandeep, sir, it's visible.
Wonderful. Wonderful. So Atul, it was so nice to go through the service offerings from your end. It's truly remarkable because I've not come across a comprehensive coverage like what you guys have done. So kudos to each one of you. And of course, the accolades that you've showcased in one slide is truly evidence of what you do on the ground. That's a reality. So thanks for this partnership. And again, good afternoon, everyone, and thanks for the opportunity, honestly. So I'll take the next few minutes, just share a bit of my perspective, right? One is, of course, our partnership with StackU. As Microsoft, we have a very, very strong, ISV program, and StackU is one of our flagship ISVs when it comes to spatial analysis, because you saw multiple use cases. End of it, it's all about leveraging the power of what Atul called as a dumb cameras, right? End of it, using them to do spatial analysis, and spatial analysis can happen across industries. So again, our partner with StackU goes a long way in terms of taking them to our esteemed customers who probably are reimagining their workplaces, reimagining solutions for the future. And the best part is leveraging their existing investment. That's where I think the beauty of the solution shines literally. And again, thanks for this partnership, Atul, because end of the day, the last use case you showcased, the COVID-19 related stuff, very, very profound, very, very impactful. End of the day, you might use a solution, across industries, but healthcare is one area where I think not just healthcare, I would say citizen services, right? End of the day, well-being of everybody moving around and cameras being, made available for us to do supervision, immensely valuable. So thanks for that. So what I'll do is I'll share a quick, I would say, an industry bite here, right? While all of us have seen the power of Jarvis, which is the flagship offering from StackU, but today impact of Jarvis across industry is a reality, right? I can look at the construct where as Microsoft, our worldview has been intelligent cloud, intelligent edge. But when it comes to edge computing, with the power of 5G coming together very soon, I think ability for us to process massive amount of video data. So today, the question always comes in terms of latency or ability for us to do inferences closer to where data is getting generated, which is in this case video, right? Video footage processing in the cloud is a very, very costly activity. Can I look at solutions which will help me make inferences closer to where data is getting generated? That's a big plus to how Jarvis operates today. And no industry left behind here, right? Because at the end of the day, we're talking about you have a camera which is existing today, and the feed that comes from your existing cameras, the DVR setup, all that's what is required for us to pretty much do analytics and use cases. What you can solve, it's up to one's imagination, right? I mean, that's the true power of computer vision. As Microsoft, we've been innovating on this stream of I would say computer vision for a long time now, and thanks to partners like StackU who probably take it all new level as part of offering solutions. Now, if there is one realization for everybody in the industry, right? Sorry, I think it's going faster. So if there's one realization for everybody in the industry, it's about Internet of Behavior, right? So now IOB is a new term coined by Gartner, and we've seen this. Now, ability for us to look at data holistically and ability for us to process it in real time and also use the data to reflect back on how can we make the surroundings better. I think that's a true power of data, and ability for us to harness the data is probably the most complex thing. And that's where solutions like StackU comes in superiorly here. And end of the day, IoT generating massive corpus of data, ability for us to derive insights from that and reflect on what can be the eventual impact and eventual resolution for anything that needs to be fixed in the reality. I think that's the true power of this one. Now, talking about the world we all live in, right? So end of the day, we talk about, yes, you look at what needs to be reimagined going forward. See, today there is a I would say intense realization across the industry saying, you know what was the solution we built for the past because of pandemic, because of the current time we're living in. For the future, we have to reimagine that. So each of the businesses have to have an acute sense of what needs to be reimagined for the future and what needs to be left behind. And if there's one stream which is also, I would say not picked up, I would say probably it's a dire necessity now is automation, right? Automation in the sense of, yes, if you look at video analytics as an example, we don't need human intervention in the command center looking at every footage. Can intelligence be applied to the data that we're seeing? And apt action is where you need to bring a human intervention, right? That's an area with intelligent automation. But of course, we also aspire autonomous systems, right? That means there's no human intervention. Can actions be taken depending on inferences being made by systems, terminals here in this case, right? So autonomous systems, we're seeing a massive adoption of that as we speak. I would say we're at an inception stage of autonomous systems where there's no human intervention and hence insights can be used to take actions on the ground. Of course, considering video analytics, considering the footage that gets generated every single second of this planet, a lot can be achieved, right? Now, of course, this is no different than what Gartner calls it a hyper automation, right? So look at the power of AI and how it will complement automation as a need. I think that's the world we live in. Going forward, as we reimagine systems, solutions like Stack will be supremely important because you don't want to reinvent the wheel. We have solutions that's probably more economical, built keeping them in economics of scale. I think that's the true power of the solution, which Atul showed that. Now, talking about spatial analysis, yes, I mentioned earlier, we all live in a world which is dominated by cloud and intelligent edge. I think edge becomes a very, very critical part of how systems will evolve going forward. Now, as I said earlier, the solution will probably be inferior in its existence if everything needs a cloud computing environment to process it in real time, right? I mean, look at it this way. If you take hospital as a entity here, at many hospitals you don't have connectivity. There are activities happening, let's say in basement, where there may be an OPD in the basement. There are cameras there, no internet connectivity, right? I mean, signals are very weak. Can processing happen on site and make inferences? Let's say somebody had a fall in the basement of a hospital. You can't rely on a public cloud to make inferences, but you have to make inferences right there and buzz alarm. That's where solutions like Jarvis, which probably can complement edge computing as a philosophy, and that's what is required going forward for us to reimagine and reinvent how technologies will have a profound impact on society. So, Jarvis, absolutely. This is something which we believe as Microsoft is going to change a lot of businesses in terms of how they will use the power of camera, the power of artificial intelligence to solve a lot of problems, a lot of scenarios, I would say. But again, thanks Atul and team. The partnerships have been very, very meaningful for both of us. When, in fact, I must admit this, when during COVID times, when inquiries started coming from customers in terms of how can we do ABC, and without any doubt, we could actually refer them to you, and you did the needful. So thank you so much for that. And again, thanks for all of you who joined this afternoon. I appreciate the opportunity. And again, if there's one solution you should look at when it comes to video analytics with very, very, I would say, accurate assessment of real-time data coming in, I think it's worth betting on Jarvis. Yeah, with that, I'll take a pause and I'll hand back to Neeraj, and I'll hang in there for questions as we go along. Back to you, Neeraj.
Thank you so much for the wonderful insights and talking so much about positives about us. But I must say that with the help of Microsoft and with your partnerships in place, we have been mutually able to drive a lot of things together, and we really look forward to a lot of future synergies and future possibilities all together in a much more better way. Thanks, Atul, for joining. Just switching on the video once again. Now as next steps. I'll just take a moment to hear, because I don't want the things to go in a monotonous way. I'll just take a moment to just reveal the bonus for you. I'll just recall one factor. So there's one thing that is already in place here is now you've got a fair understanding what the product is, how it is being actively used and across the industry. So one thing I'd just like to make sure here is that any one of you in this particular webinar right now, if they want to experience Jarvis, if they want to experience the power of video analytics and AI, with the help of Atul and everyone, we have come to one single thing is we are more than happy to extend a 7-day free POC to, all those who are interested to, take it up. You can just drop in the comment section you are interested in the POCs, and my business team will take in from there, and it will help you drive the engagement forward. So basically, I'll just highlight one thing. We generally do not just distribute things just like that, but this is one area where we value your time, and that's where we have put this thing in place, right? So just put it in the comment section wherever you wish to. If you want to experience Jarvis, experience the features of it, we are more than happy to extend it further, right? Now I'll hand it over to Mr. Jitendra Singh, who is the CDO and president at JK Super Cement, and he'll share his valuable insights, how he's doing the digital transformation in the cement industry itself, and how he's leveraging the power of artificial intelligence and the video analytics to drive multiple things together. And over to you, Jitendra sir. The stage is all yours. Thank you so much.
I'm sorry, I had to switch off the video for a minute. I was just trying to understand that is this natural spotlight coming on to me through the sunlight, or so maybe yes.
You're looking good, sir. You're looking perfectly fine.
So
I
thank
think you should
you.
go ahead.
That was not the intent actually. The intent was that people can watch me when I'm speaking. So thank you so much, Atul, Neeraj, and Mr. Alur. And good evening to all the fellow participants who I'm sure most of you must have been actually heading a division which caters to AI or the entire overall IT or digital landscape. So you know about JK Cement. We are into essentially gray and white cement businesses. We have about 10 manufacturing units. And in fact, if I have to say, it all started with the COVID, in fact. So we were looking for some kind of a solution like everybody else, that wherein we can track if people are wearing masks, if people are maintaining distance, if there is no overcrowding, or how do we mark attendance of people who are coming inside the manufacturing setup. That was the first intent. And when Neeraj and in fact, with the help of Atul, when they came forward, so Neeraj explained it to us that how does their equipment work. And I could see in the conversation at the chat, somebody asked a question that do you need an additional device? That in fact was my first question when we first interacted with Neeraj, that what all is needed, because somebody would actually show you the solution and then as a supplemental requirements, they'll come back with that you need 1, 2, 3, 4 devices, and then yes, it'll work. So, but we were pleasantly surprised to understand that no, your existing CCTVs can work. If at all you are thinking or considering changing your CCTVs because they've gone obsolete, not because of this solution, but because of other reasons, so then they can suggest you if you want. So first we said, why not give it a try and only invest in the solution. So of course, with the Microsoft Azure platform and Neeraj solution, first thing which we did was the mask, attendance, and overcrowding setup. Then one thing led to the another, and today, if I'm not wrong, Neeraj, you are already sitting at JK site, and some people might be guessing that is it under implementation? No, it is not. It is under evolution actually.
It's not.
So
Right.
we have close to 10 to 11 behaviors already captured, and we are looking forward for 25 more. And with the help of Jarvis team, in fact, we are actually it's triggering a food for thought. Can we do this also? Can we do that also? And then answer till now, fortunately, has been yes always. It's with blurred looking at the number plate with a blurred vision also, that as low as 50% of visibility of the numbers. I have seen ANPR, their ANPR actually responding very, very well. People with the mask, half the mask on, you can recognize the person. That was amazing actually. That was a revelation for us, because that was first thing which we said, that attendance with a mask. Either I ask the person to put off the mask, then I'm violating one norm. If I don't, then I'll not be able to capture the attendance. But either ways, it worked very, very well. And in fact, if I have to say that if I had to do it without the Jarvis solution, I would require additional manpower roaming around the plant, which of course was a violation of overcrowding itself in the manufacturing setup. If I put normal cameras and put every visuals into a command control center, I would need 2-3 more people sitting at that same room, which again is a violation of the crowding norm or social distancing. So it helped us in many ways. It all started with, and in fact, I was thinking that I might be showing certain pictures and I was about to search for them. But when Atul had shown in all his slides, the good number of pictures you can see pertain to JKCL only. And in fact, we ended up having the loudspeakers also attached to these things, and the mechanism helped me announce that you are flouting the norms. Please maintain a distance. Please wear a mask, or welcome Mr. So and so. So this is all where it all started. Next step. No, this is something which Atul also told you, which COVID you all have gone through. So maybe one solution or the another. We thought that at a loading station, at a packing station, can we count a number of bags? We requested Neeraj that can we do that, and in fact, that was one of the best things which has happened so far. It gave me, irrespective of the kind of a position of the bag on the conveyor belt, it gives me the precise count without any human intervention. Number one. Second, see, you say, necessity is the mother of invention, and of course, you get greedy by each revelation you have. So we thought that, okay, now number of bags are being counted. Can we find that which bag is cut or torn so that I can adjust my count and exact loading can be done? That also was made possible. So today, as we speak, it's there running at my Mangrol plant. Now, in fact, my business had jumped in and we had a meeting directly, and we came back with 20 plus more scenarios wherein we can use their CCTV or their solution for with our CCTVs. And we are in the process of evolving the solution further to a stage wherein I would not use the word that I can reduce the manpower. Yes, of course, you can rationalize the manpower, but the only thing is you can make the system much more efficient, effective, and it gives you the precise output which you are looking for. It's not dependent on human intervention. It's not dependent on you maybe suspecting that is the person deputed on the job giving me the right picture, yes or no. It's the machine which is giving me that picture without any biases. So that is making my system much more accurate, efficient, faster, of course, and with a lean manpower. Lean manpower as in I don't have to increase my manpower. We are in an expansion mode as a JKCL, you all know it. And thank you to all of our customers. You must be, some of you must be already using our cement, and I would encourage you to do that. But that said, Jarvis has definitely helped us, and I have all the intentions wherever it can be used and in whatever way it can be used. I'll not even think twice. And Neeraj is actually making our life a little more tougher by actually triggering those thoughts. And he never says no to it. We say, can this be done? He says, yes, it can be. And the evidence is proof of pudding is in the eating. He's at one of our sites and he himself is guiding those thoughts. So you can also imagine that, see, one thing is the solution. Second thing is the coding. Third thing is the platform, which is Microsoft. Fourth most important thing for me is how best you are supported by the team who has actually sold it to you. Neeraj is not from the hardware or a solution side, if I'm not wrong. Neeraj is essentially into business development, sales, marketing, and all those things. And he is sitting at my side, making sure that everything works. That should be more than enough of a proof for somebody to have a confidence that, yes, this thing works and these people make sure that it works. I think that is all I had to say. Nothing to be shown in the form of presentation because Atul's presentation spoke everything. And I wish them all the best. I wish Microsoft also all the best because it's actually a humongous data, 2 million transactions in a month. And that's just a beginning, Mr. Alur. Thank you.
It's way more than that, Jitendra sir, thank you so much, for the wonderful insights. I think if you wish, you can also, just shed some light on your digital transformation journey. You can take a couple of more minutes and let the people know, how as a JKC, as a unit, how you're driving the digital transformation as varied thing. We all came to know how video analytics and AI is being utilized. But if you want to share something else as well, that's also perfectly fine. Let the people know, what JKC is doing across.
Oh, well, I can actually speak for days and days for that actually. But to summarize that actually, in our digital transformation, we have 100% digitalized our supply chain, which includes in-plant logistics, including RFID tags, for which number plate recognition, of course, I am switching on to CCTV from Jarvis again. Then it's packing and loading, which is where the auto loader or auto diverter works based on my mechanism developed through in-plant supply chain. I have my entire yard management done or digitalized. I have my entire fleet track and trace digitalized. I have a bidding system for my transporters so that I can capitalize on the freight. My sales force is 100% automated, digitalized, and they are well connected. They have the entire database with them available for every channel member which they are visiting. They can log in their ad hoc visits also. My entire channel is digitalized and is integrated with my Salesforce. My core technical team, which is in the market to help the individual home buyers in going for a journey of building their own house and support them and then connect them to the nearest dealer or channel. My entire procurement is digitalized. My plant system through the invoicing and two-way matching through using an RPA, I am digitalized there also. My IT and OT are integrated through a secured gateway. I am putting in more and more sensors to make operational technology much more efficient because I'm managing a plant which is 1 year to 40 years old. So the age gap between these plants is different. So I cannot put one thing or one size fits all doesn't apply in my case. So we are working on that. We are trying to capitalize on the data available with us. I've been able to find out white spaces in my sales landscape. I've been able to digitalize and make sure that my supply chains are in line with the good services and in time delivery. My depot inventories are optimized today. So as I said, I can go days and days for that, in fact. And with respect to security, I can say my east, west and north, south, both traffics are secure through various use of technologies. And one good decision 2.5 years back, which I made was I moved on to O365, which is on cloud, which actually gave me the amazing results when the moment lockdown was declared. And I got accolades for that. Of course, Microsoft deserves that, but otherwise, that is one. And then there are other technologies which I'm working on. I'm working hand in hand with Microsoft on certain things. I'm working with other providers also. So that's there. My learning and development platform is 100% digitalized. My HR is digitalized. My travel and expense management is digitalized. And mind you, why am I saying all these things? Why am I mentioning all these domains or verticals? Is I belong to a very orthodox and a trivial industry. So it needed a kind of change management, which is the work in background. But right now, as we speak, my leadership team, my managers are totally synergized to the extent that they wish to go forward with more and more digitalization of technologies. One more thing, when the moment lockdown was initiated, within 15 days, I went into an e-visit mode, wherein my sales force could actually speak to every channel member through the phone and log their visits. So if you notice, my sales has not declined or gone down during the pandemic period, which ideally, quote unquote, in the building material segment should be impacted. And my connect, my loyalty channel, of course, we converted those kind of loyalty bonuses and gift items into the cash, which my carpenters and other masons needed, and immediately dispersed and helped them out during the pandemic time. It's always picked up well. In terms of social and digital thing, you would have already noticed that I'm very aggressive in digital media today. We have rebranded ourselves. You can see the logo here also. In fact, this side, earlier it was something else. And this logo also is not coming out just for the sake of aesthetics. It has a meaning. So in fact, you can see green, which is sustainability, blue is our core, gray is our cement, and the logo Y speaks about our founder chairman, Mr. Yadupati Singhania. We lost him last year, but yes. So this is where, and this speaks more in line with the times we are into. And we promise to our customers that we'll be much more friendly and good serving partners to them. It will not be that one-time sale because you build a house once only and then after that you don't need them. So this relationship is not going to be like that. And we promise our suppliers and vendor partners like you, Jarvis, like you, Microsoft, that there is always a fair chance of working together in a very transparent way. Help us evolve further. We are with you and please be with us. Thank you.
Wonderful. Neeraj, if I can just
Amazing.
take 30 seconds, and Ms. Jitendra, I think it's a classic evidence of a transformation that has happened pre and during pandemic. I think I've come across evidences for sure, but what you just narrated is truly profound, because end of the day, if you have to instantly switch to the virtual world and yet stay effective, and you talk about virtual visits, etc., and continue to do that, and also your partners, ability for them to continue to continue the business with you and look at an upward trend there. Kudos to you and your team. Honestly, it's a fantastic journey that we've kind of heard as well. So thanks for sharing that.
Thank you.
Just want to add from
Much
our end. So
appreciated.
thank you, Mr. Jitendra, for your kind word, and of course, and thanks for giving us the opportunity. I remember the time, of course, when you talk about AI in a traditional industry, right? People are always skeptical about it. But I mean, thanks for giving us the opportunity and the chance to work with you. And of course, we'll try our best to make and give you the best out of all the AIs which we have. So we'll work on that. And of course, Neeraj is there, and I think he'll find something new. And thanks, Mr. Sandeep, as well, because of course, I remember like the Microsoft is something which given us the opportunity to, of course, discuss the real world problem. Of course, we were in the industry for 5 years in the government sector. We're doing a lot of things, but when we met you guys and they said the COVID is basically a important use case which we can together solve. And it was in June or I think April 2020, right? So thank you very much for your collaboration as well. Yeah, over to you, Neeraj. Thanks.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, all the panelists out here. I think I cannot describe, all those emotions in this particular webinar. But honestly, one thing I can say that we all, all are working together in order to help each other grow, and that is how everything works, right? I'm really blessed. I also, while I'm here on the site, I can certainly understand there are a lot of ground level problems that we can definitely help out. But selling solutions on just remotely and doing things and coming on ground and then suggesting something, that's a different ball game altogether. So I really appreciate on that. Thanks Microsoft team as well, for the wonderful support that you have provided in the last few years. And now, I'll just open up the Q&A session. So before Q&A, one more time, I'm just repeating, so those who have joined a bit late, in this particular webinar, right, generally we don't do it, but for all of you who are interested, in this particular product, in this particular technology to experience it, you can get a 7-day free POC with full support of StackU and Microsoft altogether. Just drop in the comment section that you are interested in the POC or any sort of a trial. We'll be more than happy to extend our support to you and let your experience be very amazing and altogether, right? I'll just take up a few questions. In case you have any questions, anyone, right, you can just drop off the questions in this particular chat window. I'll pick up a few questions and let the panelists take it up and answer for you, right? So there are a few questions I'll just pick up very quickly, right? First one is obviously covered, that the solution requires any hardware component at each and every office, or it's good to go just like that. So I think I've already shared the answer, but Jitendra sir, you can share your experience, like whether we came to the site to install any hardware or not, right? Or it was all seamless for you, how it went off?
Not at all. Means like as we say Hindi में घूमते हुए आए करके चले गए. You are still there, by the way.
Thank you, sir.
Right. And I'll just take up one more question out here. So when it comes to cloud, network bandwidth and security, how it is considered, right? So I think this is something that Atul and Sandeep, both of you can take up and answer one by one. Like from the security aspect, I think Sandeep, you can take it up, or probably, Atul or Sandeep, I'm leaving up to you. Please take it up.
Go ahead. I can add. Atul, you want to start?
So basically, yeah, security is two-way. Of course, one is the data security, which we're talking about. So in general, when you are basically whitelisting an IP address, so the first thing which is happening here is like you are getting your own cloud. That means you are the owner of the cloud part, right? So let's say JK Cement is working with us. So we are deploying Jarvis on JK Cement subscription, not on our subscription. So that means data will always be in your own virtual hardware rather than, of course, physical hardware in this case. And the secondly, this data is transmitting in a tunneling manner. They are getting an end-to-end tunnel. That means this data which has to flow from one end to other IP address, that IP address is whitelisted and data is encrypted, right? So in that way, this data is floating. And of course, when you talk about Azure as a platform, it has all the security norms which are there. So that all security norms are being met. And of course, since we are ISB partners, so in any way, you have to follow all those architectural norms which are there in the Microsoft. And if you talk about Microsoft or any major, let's say this cloud player, they follow all the GDPR and every compliances which are there. So in that way, of course, we are meeting all the security and the confidentiality, data confidentiality part in this whole thing. Yeah. Over to you, Sandeep ji, if you want to add anything in this.
Just one addition. See, we are talking about working with pretty much devices here. Camera is equivalent to an edge device. It can be an IoT device, right? So end of the day, continuous asset discovery, vulnerability management of this device, threat detection for the device itself, right? Any intrusion that can happen to the camera feeds, it's pretty much stealing data. So for IoT and OT devices, so I think that's where, if you look at it in the last 18 months, a new trail we've seen in the manufacturing industry is how do we secure IoT devices, and that's where we have a very, very strong story. So it's just not about data, it's about the device itself in terms of how to ensure people don't intrude device and hence eventually they get to the data. So yeah, absolutely. So secured by design is how the cloud is built, and even with the solution we're talking about, security is the foundation. Yeah, so I just want to add that, Atul. Over to you.
Thank you so much. So I think one more thing that people were interested to know is what is the average network bandwidth that is required. So I think Atul, if you like to take, or should I just tell it to the people?
I mean, it is a question that's being asked every time when we go for any presentation. Of course, we need 500 kbps to 1 Mbps, depending upon what kind of analytics you want to do. So let's say you want to do a very, something which is very immediate or instant kind of a thing. For example, let's say a facial recognition that might need instant data because that is not an activity. It is just a spontaneous thing happening. So in that case, you might need 1 Mbps for that camera. But let's say there is some activity, let's say a mopping, cleaning, which might be happening 5, 10, 20 seconds, right? In that case, 500 kbps kind of a speed will also work. So it always depends upon the event which you choose. So because in general, in both the events, you have a number of frames coming which correlate, and then you decide by the AI that this is happening. So the overall, the crux is 500 kbps to 1 Mbps per camera bandwidth is needed. And we don't need any dedicated line or something, a lead line or something. Even a normal broadband connection will work with us. Yeah.
Perfect. So I think there are two questions that I'd probably club together. One is there any specific camera required? What is the performance in the night or dark area? And second one is how the alert is being raised, right? So Atul, I think probably what you can do is you can just open the panel and show that the camera quality, how low quality cameras we are working with, and at the same time how's the performance across. So I think this will answer both the questions of the audience out here. You are on mute, Atul. I'm sorry for that.
Sorry, my bandwidth is a bit at a lower side because of the video call. So, bro,
okay.
I just say so to talk about the camera, right? Of course, you're working in 1.5 megapixel kind of ecosystem. So just think of a UP Prison department, which is like 100-year-old department and which had added a camera around 2006. So it's 15 years ago, they had a camera and we are using that camera to perform video analytics, right? And we are solving many of the problems for them, right? So that kind of a ecosystem at one side we have. So we are working even on 1.5 megapixel camera. We're also working on 5 megapixel camera. Now coming in terms of the what kind of a hardware is needed. So whether you have a mobile camera, right? There are certain things, for example, when we worked in the second COVID wave. So we also developed a patient monitoring thing using camera. So while you are sleeping on the bed, you need help. Like I was talking about, you just have wave the hand in front of camera and the alert will go to the doctors, right? and that was done on the mobile camera. So you have to just on your mobile and the stream will go to this Jarvis. So whether it's a mobile camera, drone camera, or CCTV camera, all the three can be connected with the Jarvis. Secondly, the camera hardware, whether it's a 1.5 megapixel camera, of course, when you are to do a recognition kind of a thing, you might need 4 megapixel camera. Otherwise, any activity detection part, which is in general we call in AI terms, can be done on the 1.5 megapixel camera. And even, of course, Jitendra sir was saying that even in certain cases, we have very low resolution number plate coming from the camera that can also be identified with this, right? So yeah, I mean, this is something we are doing on different kind of hardwares.
I think perfect answer, Atul. So I think I can see Jitendra sir also, shared his experience. I'm really glad to see that actually, right? Thanks for sharing that, Jitendra sir. So basically, equally, in the low resolution as well, you're working fine. Yeah, Jitendra sir, you're saying something.
This is actually the helping out my peers and fellow colleagues in finding out the right solution. It's not a favor to you actually. It's basically sharing the experiences and all those things. So I think if people know me, most of them may be knowing me. So I don't go by any favoring anybody actually. So it's actually on ground reality, and I speak whatever I have experienced.
So I really much appreciate your, kind words, Jitendra sir.
Even
We-
that's why Neeraj, that's why, just sorry to interrupt. That's why we are open for doing a pilot as well, so that you can get the experience. Generally, company and I'm from a research background, right? I'm from a research background, and we generally try to sell something which is, of course, you have where you have the confidence. So all these are tested things. All these papers or research being published in some of the top conferences around the world. So I mean, you can get a great accuracy, and we are good to do any kind of a pilot if you want to do in your organization. Yeah.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Atul, and thanks so much, Jitendra sir. I think we have one thing I can see. I think Shivangi is there, who's looking for some opportunity in the organization. Thanks, Shivangi, for your we are fortunate enough to hear this. I'll definitely pass on your message to my HR team. They'll certainly get back to you in case anything we can work together. So we can take care of that. After that, I can also look into there's one thing somebody asked, like, what are the edge devices that you generally use? What camera you use? So probably Sandeep, if you're here, you can talk on the edge devices, and you can also share how StackU and Microsoft is working in that particular angle.
Yeah. So quickly now, if you look at edge devices, it all depends on what you want to process. For example, if you take a retail store and you have, let's say, 20 cameras, and you want to converge the feeds and process in one go. For example, as Microsoft, we have our own hardware series, which is called Azure Stack Edge, right? It's a GPU hardware accelerated setup, which is required for us to process deep learning models, right? So there are a variety of edge devices. If Intel has an edge device, for example, we've what if running right behind me here, AIoT Mustang, FPGA hardware from Intel. It all depends on the problem on hand in terms of what processing power you need to process the data. Accordingly, you would choose a edge hardware device to process that. But yes, I think the good part is you have a choice in the industry today across NVIDIA, Intel, Microsoft to actually host these models. And again, all these models that Atul spoke about, they're agnostic of any of these edge hardware devices. So you choose hardware depending on the use case on hand, and then accordingly move forward. Yeah.
Perfect. I think with respect to the time, anyone else would like to share something? I think probably we can reconnect with the folks who want to understand the product in a much more depth, right? And anyone from the audience would like to share something, you can raise your hands as well, or probably you can drop off the comments in the chat, like in the chat window. I think we are good to go then. I think there are no more further questions from any of the participants, and we have already clarified much of the questions here. And finally, I'd just like to once again thank you so very much, Jitendra sir, Sandeep sir, and Atul for your valuable time out here. We really appreciate the kind of knowledge and the information that you shared across the panel. And thank you so much for your time. Anything if you wish to just say as a final goodbye to all the attendees, probably then we can sign off.
I would let Jitendra sir. Sure.
So thank you. Yeah.
My official email ID. I've shared that in the chat. So just in case you get in touch with me. But the one thing I would definitely say, while I may be the forward-looking digital leaders in the organization, there were certain skepticism also. So that skeptical set of people today are actually vouching or swearing in the name of AI, because AI itself triggers a kind of a thought that pata nahi kya hoga, what will it be like this and all those things. So I would recommend that don't worry about it. Just and I am 100% sure that there is no organization, be it manufacturing or non-manufacturing, where CCTVs are not being installed today. If you want to capitalize or make the most of it, you will need a solution. I needed one, and I'm happy with the solution. Thank you.
Cool. I would say if there's one data signal that probably is less utilized today, but yet there is infrastructure already in play, that's video. And we see dominantly video in media industry, but in every industry there are cameras. So that's an untapped opportunity and an insight that's waiting there for us. So I would say use it to your advantage, and a lot will happen. Lot can happen for your business in terms of driving intelligent decisions as you go along. So thanks so much, and back to Neeraj and Atul. Bye for now.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Sandeep sir. Thank you, Jitendra sir, for joining this call and helping us with all your insights and everything. And thanks to all the attendees for joining this call. And we love to connect with you guys for any of your queries which you have, or if you want to try the product. Thank you very much for your time. Thanks, Neeraj, for organizing it in a great manner. Thank you very much. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.